I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello, welcome to episode 94 of WhysAdvice. And man, I got a great show planned for you today. As I'm going through the inbox, trying to cultivate what I'm looking for and trying to find out how I kind of want this show to go. A couple emails stood right out at me real quick. I'm like, yeah, I got to talk about them. But first, I want to talk about my day today. Had a great day. All kinds of, I happen to be featured this week in the weekly magazine, and very happy about that. I wouldn't say featured, but a small photo that talks about when you're out of points, stop eating points, which, as you know, that's the number one way I got to goal. So I took just a moment and I kind of elaborated on my thoughts, and I put it on FatDag.com. If you click on blog, you can see that post as to what I mean by when you're out of points, stop eating points. Now, one of the things that we do, and we see it all the time in the tracker, and trust me, I've been there, I've done it, but we continue to track negative into the tracker, and we go negative, and we don't make the adjustment at that point. So I want you to track. Don't get me wrong there. I absolutely want you to track every time you eat. I want you to put it in the tracker. I want you to stop eating points when you're out of points. But if that doesn't happen, I want you to own it. I want you to put it in there as a negative number and move on. At some point, though, I see the consistency of people continuing to go negative and negative and negative and not really understanding the when you're out of points, stop eating points part. Well, if you continue to just track a negative number, all you're really doing at this point is documenting the behavior that is getting you nowhere. What I want you to do is I want you to document that behavior, but then I want you to evaluate that behavior, figure out how you can make an adjustment, look in the day, and if you find, 10 or 15 points that were used early on in the day for a snack, replace them with a fruit, replace them with something lower in points so that you have points left over for dinner. That's what I mean by when you're out of points, stop eating points. Look at the calendar, look at the tracker, and try and figure out how to save some of those points for later on. If you do that, you'll have a much better process, much better journey, and trust me, you'll get to goal. You absolutely can get to goal. I know that. So, welcome to all the new listeners who found me from the weekly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Just as a note, you can go to the App Store, search for WhysAdvice in the App Store, and you can listen to the show via the WhysAdvice app, which is absolutely the best way, in my opinion, to listen to the show. So thank you for being here. Welcome to everybody on that. So the first email comes in from BigJoeLuke. He says, hello, FatDag. BigJoeLuke here from Toms River, New Jersey, checking in. I had a good week. I'm down 3.2 pounds for a grand total of 38.6 on my way to Wonderland. I have a question for you, though. How do you handle the situations when people looked at you and stated, man, you look great. Don't lose any more weight? I'm not there yet, and I tell them that, but it starts to work on you mentally regarding your motivation. I was curious as to how you and the others handled it, if at all. Thanks for your continued service to God, country, and Weight Watchers. BigJoeLuke. Well, here's how I would answer that question, and it's a real question, right? And we get that. I think everyone who's reached goal, at some point along the way, somebody looked at them and said, hey, you've lost enough. Don't lose any more weight. You're going to blow away. Something crazy like that. And here's what I want to tell you that's interesting. The first time I heard that, I was at about 225 pounds was the first time I heard it. And I started at 263, ended at 172. So I lost about 50 pounds after the first person told me that don't lose any more weight. So, I just had to ignore them. Now, it's a very real scenario. And what happens, and I'll explain it to you, is people who see you daily and people who know you, people who are in your circle of friends and family, they're used to seeing us at a bigger size. they have no concept of what a healthy weight on us looks like. So when they see us from, in my scenario, from 260 down to 220, down 50 pounds or so, when they see me at that weight, it was confusing to them. Because for their entire life, they've known me at 263, and now to see me at 220, I started to look thin. They weren't comparing me to what my potential was. They were comparing me to my big self, my 263, and that's what's going on. So the first time someone told me, I knew for a fact I wasn't at goal. Right? I knew I was 220 some pounds, and I knew I had easily 20 pounds to go. And so I just said, thank you. No, I'm not there yet. And I just kind of ignored him and pressed on. Now I understand, I get with you. It is a mental challenge because you want to kind of believe them. You don't want to, you're doing this whole process to feel better and to look better. And what you don't want to have happen is someone go, wow, he doesn't look good. He doesn't look healthy. What I can tell you is every single person who told me to stop losing weight or to be careful or to not lose any more weight or whatever scenario they told me, every single person who told me that was overweight. No one who was at a healthy weight, no one who was fit told me that. Not a single person. So what that told me is every time someone said that to me, not in a judgmental way, but I would look and say, wait a minute, I'm on the way down to a path where I want to be healthy and fit, and I want to make sure for the rest of my life that I'm in that zone. So that's how I kind of beat it. I said, I'm just going to go forward. I'm going to continue working my plan. I'm going to continue to be healthy. I'm going to continue to get the blue dots, and I'm going to live a happy, life. Now, tonight, I told you earlier, I had a meeting tonight, and at the meeting, I ended up meeting with a physician, purely random. It's not why we were there, but ended up meeting a physician. We started talking. He let me know he was a physician. His specialty was bariatric surgery. So we talked quite a bit, and he talked about bariatric surgery. He talked about weight loss. It came up in the conversation. He had no idea who I was. He had no idea my journey. He didn't know a thing about me, but I brought it up, and he looked at me and he goes, I would have never known. Right? So here's a bariatric surgeon. Here's someone who specializes in weight loss, and he had no idea. So at the weight that I am now, 30 pounds, 40 pounds lighter than what I would have done had I listened to everyone who said stop, and a doctor certifies now you look good. So very, very cool on that regard. So Joe, what I can tell you is keep working the plan. You're doing this for you anyways. Do what you need to do to get it done. Karen writes in, says, hi, I recently found you on Connect and I've listened to some of your podcast. I commented on your live video last Friday evening. I'm Karen from Lafayette. About 45 minutes north of you if you go up 65. What a small world. Anyhow, I have a question for you. You showed your weekly weight loss on Friday night. How did you consistently achieve such high weight losses every single week? 3 to 4 pound range instead of the 1 to 2 pound range as I'm experiencing. I am 45 and a former athlete when younger. Knee problem from sports and genetics led to major knee pain and arthritis in my 30s, which led to weight gain from becoming sedentary. I'm now 45 and had my first knee replacement less than a year ago at age 44. My right knee is just as bad on x-ray, so it's a ticking time bomb for replacement also. This is my encouragement for weight loss. As the extra weight strains the knee tremendously to try and make my right knee last a little bit longer. I am not ready for another replacement yet. Just starting to reap the benefits of my new knee, so my exercise options are limited. Actually, about the only thing I can do is ride my stationary recumbent bike. Does this qualify for good enough exercise? I figured I'd ask because I'm about 90% sure of your answer to my question above is going to be exercise. Thanks for all your social media encouragement and your service to our country. You have no idea how helpful you are at keeping others' minds on the plan. Karen. Well, Karen, here we go, right? I love when this question comes up. And so the question you asked, the very first question you asked specifically was, how did I have to consistently manage a 3 to 4 pound weight loss every single week? And you're experiencing 1 to 2 pound weight loss every week. Karen, you're experiencing a 1 to 2 pound weight loss every single week. That's exactly what the plan is asked for us. That's what I want you to focus on. Now, if you're looking to get the 3 to 4 pound weight loss like I did per week, here's what I need you to do. It's real simple. I need you to do every single thing that I did. I need you to breathe at the exact same time. I need you to wake up at the exact same time. I need you to take the exact same steps at the exact same time. I need you to eat the exact same food that I ate. Oh, wait a minute. I need your body to be the exact same shape mine was in when we started. Completely, medically, 100% needs to be the same. I need you to do every single thing that I did, and then you'll have the exact same results I did. That's it. It's that simple. So what I need you to do is I need you to focus on your journey. Your body clearly is going to be different than mine. Your actions are clearly going to be different than mine. What I want you to do is I want you to focus on your journey. I want you to stop comparing your journey to anyone else's journey in that regard. And I want you to celebrate the fact that you're 1 to 2 pounds consistently a week and you're getting it done. Now let's talk about your knees. Obviously, we know there's some issues there. We know we have to preserve them. Exercise is not the tool that we think it is in our weight loss journey. What exercise does for us is exercise keeps our mind in the game. Exercise keeps us wanting to continue being healthy, living a healthy lifestyle, but it certainly does not it's not the answer in our weight loss journey. So what I want you to focus on is, again, I want you to focus on eating right. I want you to do something as far as exercise. Now, when it comes to my journey, the way I did it is I lost about 60 pounds before I did anything that I would call exercise. For the first handful of months as I was working out, the exercise that I did was nothing more than walking. That's it. And it was walking at such a slow pace that I didn't do anything. I didn't even break a sweat for the first 30, 40 days. I just got up every single day, 5 a.m., went to the gym, I walked on the treadmill, I walked as slow as possible so that I could go every single day. Now, I want you to do something similar. I want you to find something you can do every day, and I want you to make sure that every single day you have the ability to just set that attendance goal of, hey, this is what I do. I go to the gym. I work out. I do time on my bike. All that stuff, just doing it in an attendance mode will get you to goal if you're eating and tracking properly. That's where I want you to go there. So, Karen, no, the answer to your question is no. I did not do 90% of my exercise. Your question is not true. I did not lose my weight by working out. Now, I've maintained my weight and I've built some muscle by working out, and I've continued to work on my mind by working out. Tracking is what I want you to focus on. And I want you to celebrate the 1 to 2 pound week. Great job for that, for sure. Cheryl writes in, says, hi, Mike. Today I made goal, at least my first goal. I started Weight Watchers on March 8th, and I had no idea what my goal should be, so I picked a number in the middle of the normal BMI for my height. I've lost over 35 pounds, 20% of my body weight. Some of that was before joining. The difficulty that I've had is identifying my why. I came up with a few things like, I hate it when my belly sits on my lap, and I feel too good to be in a bathing suit. While those are fine, they didn't feel deep enough, if you know what I mean. That all changed last week when I lost my sister. She died in her sleep at age 55. The coroner called it natural causes, but I know she died from obesity and alcoholism. I've heard it said that when you're born, you look like your parents, and when you die, you look like your decisions. That was certainly true of my sister. And now I know my why, my deep down why, at the core of my being why. I want to be here for a long time for my parents, my husband, my kids, and my grandkids. I want to be an example of good health and good decisions so no one else I love dies too soon. So today, I make a new goal. I think I have another 5 to 8 pounds to lose. I'll know when I get there. Thank you for your podcast. I love the daily dose of motivation. Hearing stories of success and struggle, it reminds me that even though our journeys look different, we're all headed toward the same destination. Highest weight 178, starting weight 160, goal weight 143, current weight 142.4, new goal weight is 138, Cheryl out of Sparks, Nevada. Cheryl, thank you for your email, and I'll open up very first and with my deepest condolences for your family, for the loss of your sister. I can't even imagine what that must be like. So my heart goes out for you for that. The fact that you're still engaged in this process with that, and the fact that that motivated you even more, that part I'm glad about. I'm glad that we had this terrible scenario that brings a little more clarity to your life, brings a little more focus to your life, and so I get that. So I absolutely do know what you mean when you say you had some whys before, but this refocused them. Though your previous whys were not deep enough, I get that. We need to find a why that digs so deep into our emotional state that it makes us angry. It makes us sad. It makes us scared. One of those feelings, we need to invoke such a deep feeling that motivates us to make that feeling go away. I think you found it. You absolutely have found it. So I had not heard the quote that you said is that, you're born, you look like your parents, and when you die, you look like your decisions. But that's absolutely true. And I met the other day with the American Heart Association here in Indiana. We're working on a program together where we can actually make some of these decisions for a lot of people better. And we can give them the power to make some better decisions. And one of the things they told me, which was completely eye-opening to me, was that 15% of all heart-related diseases are genetics. 85% are what we've done to our body, whether it be through poor exercise or poor eating or smoking or drinking or the extremes in life. 85% of the heart-related cases are because what we have done, and in your case, what you said, there are decisions. So that was a complete eye-opener for me, and your email continues to affirm for me that that's exactly what's going on. So thank you for that. Now I am very proud of what you wrote at the end of your email. You hit goal. Congratulations. We didn't even celebrate that yet. That's a great job there. You set a goal weight of 143, and now you've reset a new goal weight of 138. I'm glad to see you do that, because what you need to get to is you need to get to the point where goal is a feeling. Goal for you is a healthy lifestyle. Goal is the fact that the number on the scale does not matter. You will know when you're at goal because you feel so different than you've ever felt in your life. It's a feeling you're not going to give back, and it's a feeling that you can't validate with the scale. So you've set a new goal weight of 138. Be open to the fact that when you get there, that may not be it either. It may be, we don't know, but you'll know. And that's the important thing. So Cheryl, thank you for your email. Thank you for sharing. It's an honor to walk this journey with you. Susan writes in, says, I love your show and listen in the mornings on my walk. I started in February 2016, online only, and I followed your journey on Connect. I'm stalled a couple of pounds away from Wonderland, but I'm sticking with it and I'm being accountable. Recently, I had the best non-scale victory. I've had high blood pressure and been diabetic for at least 15 or so years. After reading my lab results, my doctor removed the last 2 of my meds. This means so much more to me than any number on the scale or the clothing size. So remind your listeners that even when the scale is being stubborn, our bodies are benefiting from our efforts. Thank you for all that you're doing to keep us focused and on track, Susan. Susan, that is phenomenal work. I love your email. I love what you said is that even when we're riding a plateau, even when the scale is being stubborn, our bodies are changing underneath all that, and this is exactly proof. You're off all of your medications. I remember the day that I was put on blood pressure medicine for the very first time. I fought it. I was not happy. I was mad at the doctor for prescribing it. Right? A doctor who was trying to save my life. I got so angry at him that he wrote me a prescription. It took me almost 2 weeks to take the first pill. I was so stubborn. And so for 5 years, I ended up taking blood pressure medicine. And then when I finally got to my goal weight, just like you, they took me off the medication. So I know 100% of what you're feeling. And you're right. It is the most amazing feeling to know that we have taken control of our lives and we have regained some health benefits that may have been long gone. We were on a path headed in the wrong direction, and we took control and completely reversed that. So you got to focus on good health. You got to focus on eating right. You have to focus on doing something that is considered exercise, whether it's deliberate or, just a quick walk, something in the attendance goal stage where you're doing something daily, setting those attendance goals, working on healthy portions. And if you do all of that, that's what the plan is. If you do all of that and you're living healthy, you're eating healthy, you're working out a little bit, and you're setting attendance goals, and you're eating the right portions, your body is forced to adjust because you're taking care of it. And then it takes care of you, and then the scale will eventually catch up. You'll drop the weight, you'll be a healthy person, and you clearly, Susan, are doing that. So even though you're stalled a couple pounds away from goal, you're getting complete success in other areas. As your body continues to adjust without these medications, you're going to see some amazing results in your journey. So keep up the great work. And there's a couple things about this journey. I'll even go back to Big Joe's email is the absolute best part of my journey. I've said this before. The best part of my journey was not the journey from 263 down to 200. Not at all. The best part of my journey was the journey from 200 down to 172. And then back up to 185, 190 in the muscle side. I started adding some muscle. I started adding some health. I am more fit, more active, more healthy now than I've been in my entire life. That happened from 200 down to 175. 263 to 200, I was just a smaller version of my fat self. Nothing changed other than my actual size. The real change that happened to me happened when I dared to push further than I've ever pushed before, to get results that I've never had. And to do that, I had to work the plan to the best of my ability. You have the ability to do that. You absolutely can get there. I believe you can get there. When you do get there, I want to celebrate. I want to hear how well you're doing. I want to hear where you struggle. I want to walk this journey with you because I know you can get there. I know it takes focus. It takes discipline. It takes you wanting this more than anything else. So when it's time to celebrate, I want you to write in. Send an email into FatDag.com. Click on Listen Now. Send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. You can email in at onair@FatDag.com. I want to know what it is you're celebrating. But share it. Remember, that's going to do it for this time, though. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.